Welcome to Money Talks, a weekly feature on FM 93.5 The Berg and WMEG AM 740. Today we will talk just a little bit about money, maybe some of the things you can do with it, how it can impact your life, some ideas on financial planning and investing, and getting the most out of the money you hope to have, already have, or want to pass down. So sit back, relax, listen, and maybe take some notes, as you may have some questions by the time we're done with this edition of Money Talks. Hello, Dan Joss. How are you today?
Doing well. Good morning.
Good morning. So, what are we going to talk about today on Money Talks?
We're talking about risk tolerance and risk capacity.
Okay. Is that like going skiing and don't want to do that? Or
That's, I guess, if you don't want to go skiing, that's risk avoidance, right?
it could be.
A low tolerance for...
I'm thinking risk reward, really. Yeah.
Yeah, no, risk tolerance is the degree of variability in investment returns that an investor is willing to withstand.
Okay.
So we're seeing a lot of downside risk recently in the markets,
Right.
and everyone sees that differently. I've had clients say, are you concerned or should I be concerned? And others say, we're sending some more money. We see this as an opportunity.
Right.
And that means their risk tolerances are different.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, because some people would say, oh, let me get out, and some people say, oh, let me get in.
That's right.
Okay.
So we have software that can look at a portfolio and replicate time periods. Like what happened in 2000, 2001, and 2, what happened in 7, 8, and 9.
Okay.
Rarely does anyone want to see the upside of risk tolerance, because that just means everything's going great.
Right.
They want to see what happens in the worst possible condition.
Okay.
And we can't, I guess we could make up a new worst possible, but we like to go back to a little bit of reality.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Reality.
do you
is one of
remember
those
20
things.
years ago? And not many do. Remember irrational exuberance in the late 90s when everything was going well?
No.
Maybe not. Well, there you go. That's most people don't.
Yeah. No.
And we always want to avoid remembering the bad times.
Well,
Unless we're at a party and we want to brag about the bad times.
that's true, because we do tend to brag about the bad times. Remember that time I got arrested? Yeah. But
I don't remember that.
well, that's good. That's good. There are a couple people who do, but we won't go down that lane because I was not avoiding the risk, and I had more capacity than I should have.
More than you do now.
Yes, that's correct.
Well, that raises the issue of risk capacity is how much risk do I need to take to accomplish my goals? Or on the other side, how much can I afford to lose?
Okay.
And see, that's different than being able to stomach a downturn in the market. Being able to actually not afford a downturn in a market.
Right. Okay. So, like, if you were going to a loan shark, that would be a lot of risk, because if you didn't pay him back, there would be a great deal of discomfort, perhaps.
Perhaps.
Depending on the loan shark.
You may be jeopardizing your financial goals by
Yes.
borrowing from the wrong sources.
Right. So we don't want to do that. But if it meant you were going to lose everything, then that's probably more than one should risk.
Right.
Yeah.
And so knowing your risk capacity, how much I can afford to take or how much I need to take, and balancing that against how much I feel comfortable taking.
Okay.
And then it makes it even more complicated if you and your spouse or joint investor have different tolerances.
You mean a husband and wife might not agree on everything?
It could be. And
I've heard rumors of such
This is where I
things.
get value added. is
Okay.
we can come together and make some decisions and achieve some goals.
Right.
By looking at each of their tolerances. And each of those tolerances come from some sort of money memory you have or how we grew up relating to money.
Right. Okay.
So
And that probably explains a little bit why Lisa has her stuff at one place and I have my
yours
stuff
is
at another place.
and that helps. There's all kinds of ways to tackle this
Yeah.
because we each have goals, and we want to get them. We want to reach them somehow.
Right.
So a good advisor will talk about risk tolerance, will talk about risk capacity, and then put that into an investment policy statement of some sort, or at least a plan with what your investments are. So you're not surprised when good things or bad things happen in the markets.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
That's all I got today.
Well, good. All right. Well, we appreciate you coming and talking about risk capacity and risk tolerance. And if somebody wants to talk to you more in depth about that in person, how should they best go about doing that?
They could call me at 757-903-2127.
All right. And I bet they can go on to your website.
Website, jossfinancial.com.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Dan Joss.
Thank you, Greg.
Money Talks is a weekly program presented for the listener's benefit and entertainment. It is provided at no cost to the listener, and the ideas, opinions, and comments are not to be construed as legal advice, tax advice, investment advice, or other advice specific to the listener. Listeners are encouraged to seek the advice of a licensed professional or other qualified party when dealing with financial, legal, tax, medical, investment, insurance, taxidermy, plumbing, electrical, carpentry, real estate, chiropractic, veterinary, oral hygiene, hot air ballooning, etc. We have given you some food for thought. Now, call a licensed professional such as Dan Joss at 757-903-2127. Thanks for listening, and remember, failing to plan is planning to fail.